it. Go. Hello. Hi, beautiful people. Hi, Paula.
Well, you're
Hello,
all excited because now you look crystal clear.
I know. This laptop is fantastic. I think I've been living in the dark ages because this is totally new to me. It's so lovely. It has 2 screens. It's brilliant. I'm very, very happy with it. How have you been, Paula, anyway?
I've been very, very well. Thank you. I have pneumonia, so I've been taking
No.
antibiotics. I have 2 more days to go with it.
It's really dangerous pneumonia as well. My son had it when he was about 4. And he went to hospital with it because, you know, the doctors always say, oh, just leave it, you know, let it clear up on its own. And he kept getting temperature, coming in and out of a temperature. And yeah, he had to be on antibiotics as well. So it can be life-threatening, can't it, pneumonia?
I've had the cough for 3 months. And the problem is because I have lupus, I get fevers. So you see, I thought it was the lupus, and the cough, I didn't know what it was because I've had it for 3 months. So finally, I went to the doctor and he sent me for an X-rays, and of course, it popped up. So and then he put me immediately in antibiotics.
Oh, babe, well, I'm glad you caught it early because it can be life-threatening, and it does worry me that, you know, coughs are going for ages. It's that weather that you're in as well. It's not particularly good for the lungs, the airways. Is it still cold?
Yeah. And Siri's not happy about it, but I mean, she's sleeping like a baby. Or can you see her?
Siri. Hello, darling. Oh, I would get a dog, but I've got a cat. I think that's going to work. I think that would work out. Hi, Lizzie in the side chat. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. I know we come on a little bit early, but I was very eager to start using this laptop. It cost me a fortune.
Is it a laptop or a PC?
It's a laptop, but it has a double screen. So if you can
No, I get it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to buy something, let me just get something decent and stop messing around and stop being a tight, what's it called? Tight flint or whatever it is. Hi, Maria. Hi, HRH. Yeah. So I've got to do a lot of catching up to do to make the money back. I'll be working day and night.
Oh, yes. Now you can do all your interviews. You don't have to worry about interruption.
Yes. And, yes. Then the interviews. Yes. And Paula, I have you to thank for that. I haven't told anybody as of yet who the guest is because I want to do it first.
Of course.
I don't want to jinx it. So it's happening Monday now. And yes, I'm in the big leagues now. Yeah. But I've got Paula to thank for it, by the way. She's an absolute legend. I love this woman to pieces. She really is the best person in the world. Hi, Daya. How are you? Hello. She's been so good to me, Paula. She really has. So just know that. I don't know what's going on. I've got stuff flying around.
Well, are you scaring away the evil?
The evil. There's some evil in the room. Okay, let's get into it then, guys. So what's Meghan been doing this week? She went to a show, didn't she?
Well, no, it wasn't a show, it was an award. That her friend Kelly Safian. But it's so funny. I did a video yesterday about it. And on my video today, I talked about it also because she claims that Kelly was her friend for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
But then again, why didn't she invite her to her wedding in Jamaica? Why didn't she invite her to the wedding in the UK? This close personal friend. And let's not forget that clinginess that we see. We've seen it before with Jessica Mulroney.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah.
that means that Kelly Safian has her days numbered. And the only time that Meghan Markle really, the only reason why Meghan Markle reached out to Kelly Safian is because she's a thief grief, you know, a grief thief. Sorry.
Yeah, grief thief. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
loves to feel grief and latch herself on it. Because actually, Kelly was Trevor Engleson's friend, not Meghan Markle's. When Kelly's son died, George, and she set up the foundation. He donated, along with his new wife, $5,000. And when Meghan Markle found out that a former friend, that a friend of Trevor Engelson's that she kind of knew had that big grief, she immediately, you know, love bombed her and everything. It's disgusting. This woman is truly disgusting.
Mm, mm. What is this new attachment then? What is she getting from this now? Why?
Attention. She's using somebody else's grief to get attention on herself. I mean, the award was for the friend, not for her. But now
Yeah.
her friend is also as shameful or shameless as Meghan Markle, because that disgusting display on the carpet, it was just appalling.
Mm, mm.
Fondling each other and everything like that. I mean, I understand Meghan, and the reason why Meghan does that is so all the lens is on her, not her friend. By her being
Yeah.
like this, you know, for example, if you and I go out and I'm groping you, I'm doing this, people are going to be looking at me. They're not going to be looking at you.
Yeah, and it's a bit full on, isn't it? Because I did watch the video and it was very like over the top kind of, it was no need for it really. There's no kind of holdback with her on that red carpet. It was a bit of an odd scenario, but it was almost like you say, let's look at me, cameras on me, let's,
You would
you
have
know,
thought that it was all about her, Victoria.
yeah, yeah,
And then it's so funny because right before they went to the carpet, I showed my video yesterday. They were told very clearly, especially Meghan, one photo only. And the woman even raised her voice, and you can see Meghan Markle's face is like, you know. But you know, this woman is no match for Meghan Markle. That's what I said yesterday too. Because Meghan Markle, there's no way that this woman is going to hit a carpet, and she's not going to pose a storm because the show is about her. She planted herself in the middle with everybody. The code was black dress. She wore a blue.
yeah.
You know, and she's in the middle of it. It's like you would have thought she was the one being honored.
Yeah, and you're right with that. With regards to her, what she's wearing, she does this quite often. She doesn't adhere to the dress code, and we saw this at Kris Jenner's birthday bash as well. She didn't really make an effort. I know
Well,
she
she
comes
wasn't invited.
well, but again, it's a
So
weird
she,
setup. Why would you go?
if you're not invited to a party, you don't know what the dress code is because you haven't gotten an invitation. So the dress code would be in the invitation.
Oh, sorry to apologise. I just got a really sharp pain in my left side.
Oh no.
Ah, yeah, I think I just moved funny. Yeah, no, well, she wasn't invited. But again, if you're going to crash a party, at least, uh, wear something that goes with the theme. you know,
But
what I
again,
mean?
if you don't know, for example, that was an exclusive invitation. So I don't think she knew what the theme was. And I don't think she has enough money to actually measure up to the theme, to be
Yeah.
honest, you know. So it was quite distasteful. And then we have that Australia thing. I know for a fact that she is trying to get out of that trip because she's now embarrassed and humiliated about everything that's come out. But the thing is, I wonder if she's going to do it, because if she does that, she's going to piss Marcus Anderson off. And Marcus Anderson is her pimp.
Well, it feels that way. It seems that she goes to him for almost any kind of business venture she can get her
Well,
hands on.
the thing is though that Harry didn't want her to go. It was Harry's trip. She managed to sneak herself in
Yeah.
and have Marcus Anderson sort something out for her in Australia through Soho House of all things. And then she gets herself invited because I don't know if you noticed, Victoria,
Mm.
nobody's wondering where Harry's going to stay in Australia.
Well, isn't he there for speaking, some sort of speaking arrangement? So he's there to give a few talks, isn't it? Like
Yeah, but
TED.
have you noticed that nobody's asking where is Harry staying and where is Meghan? Because Meghan Markle allegedly staying at the same hotel, Intercontinental, but
Okay,
the Intercontinental
okay.
Hotel is under construction. There's poop on the beach. The pool is under construction. It's a whole mess.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. I did see that there was a hotel where she's staying has been kind of
Yeah, but
been,
nobody's asking. Nobody's saying why is. People are saying as though Meghan Markle is traveling alone. Have they forgotten that allegedly she's going with Harry?
yes, but it feels like that they're splitting up. But that I don't feel like they're even going to be in the same proximity, because it looks like he's going to be doing his own ventures. And will there be any time for her and him to kind of meet up? Or are they not really working together anymore? They seem to be doing separate ventures, right?
Well, but allegedly they tried. Meghan Markle latched herself onto Harry because she wants to make it look like it's a royal tour.
Yes, 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 yes. I almost feel like she wasn't really meant to go to the Jordan one either. Now there are claims that this event that she's, to go and see her, and the tickets to have that kind of personal time with Meghan, apparently have all sold out. What's your
That's
information?
not true. They haven't sold out. They haven't sold out. I'm gonna do my video on it because I sent an email. I had one of my friends send an email because I'm
Yeah,
sure they know my details by now. So I
yeah.
had one of my friends send an email. She lives in New Zealand. So
Mhm.
she applied and she got a response yesterday that their place is available. So I don't understand what they're talking that is sold out.
Yeah. Of
Because
course, they're
Wendy,
going to make it look
my
like.
friend got a reply saying, "Oh, you've been selected. Lucky you."
I mean, if I had that type of cash just to throw
But the thing
around,
is that you don't pay in advance. They select you first, and then you decide if you
oh,
want to do.
see. Oh, you're vetted
You
first.
can't buy. They
Interesting.
have to. You have to apply. You have to send your email. You have to apply. You have to put your details, and then they decide whether you're selected or not. So my friend wrote yesterday, and the response was almost immediate because what it is a lot of people are writing out of curiosity, right? But not very many people want to go.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's intriguing that she's done this move. I was talking about it the other day on the live. It feels very Fergie 2.0, doesn't it? I feel like we're going into the Fergie
I
realms
gotta
here.
tell you, Fergie did it better than she did because my God, this woman is so D-list. She's D-list in everything. Because I don't know if Sunshine and Sachs is already working with her. Or they've dumped her because they've kept this very quiet. And Netflix, if she were with Sunshine Sachs, there is no way that Ted Sarandos would have said the things he said. And it's funny because two and a half days ago, 3 days, I found out that Ted Sarandos and Netflix had unfollowed Meghan Markle. And I did my video and I tried to upload it, but there were issues with YouTube Studio, so I couldn't upload it. But I uploaded it. A day later, front page news, page 6, Daily Mail, Ted Sarandos unfollows Meghan Markle. They really are always behind when we YouTubers put out our news. That's where they're getting their mainstream media. They're getting all of their news because they don't do the journalistic thing we do.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, it is. Do you not feel like going back to kind of this? Her selling herself almost to get a few $1,000s. Do you feel like this is the most low bar thing she could be doing right now? I mean, I think this is a grab of desperation here. Is money that tight where you
But
have
she's
to
not
start?
getting paid. She's not getting paid. The
How
woman, Hema, the woman organizing the event, she owes the taxman in Australia over $788,000. They're about to repossess her apartment. This is why, if you look at how much they're charging, it's about 959,000 something change that they will get from the ticket sales, which helps her cover the money that she owes the taxman. She gets to keep the apartment, and she still gets a little bit of change, a little bit over 170,000 Australian dollars. So this is all a cash grab, and Meghan Markle must have known about it, but she has to pay the piper. But she now doesn't want to go. She's the one responsible of making sure that articles are being put out of how on disrepair the hotel is, because she wants a way to get out, and they're not getting security, as far as I know, from Australia. So now she's embarrassed about it all, and she's angry and embarrassed.
And how long is this for?
Just the weekend.
Sorry?
It's just the weekend.
Oh, just the weekend?
Yeah,
So
and people get to share a hotel room. You don't get your own room. You have to share with somebody.
Oh no, I'm saying, but I'm not just talking about the retreat. I'm talking about their whole time there. How long are they spending in Australia?
Well, she's going just for the weekend. Harry's also going just for that chat. Was it just insane? Harry's just getting paid $50,000. That's it.
Desperate times calls for desperate.
I mean,
measures.
the ticket to Australia, of his ticket plus his bodyguard's tickets, it's more than what he's getting paid in Australia.
This is insane, because I wouldn't fly to Australia for 2 days. That just doesn't make sense. It takes you a day
all the
to
way
get
from
there.
LA and Mr. Environment.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The environmental impact you're having, Harry, does not coincide with your morals, darling. With your supposed morals. You know what your travelist endeavors. It is a bit of an odd one, isn't it, that he's doing that? I would have thought you would have spent more time out there, booked more events, set up something else.
Nobody wants to book him, though. Nobody wants to hire him. This is the only thing he could get himself hired for. Nobody wants to hire him anymore. I mean, after that Dr. Sophie Chandauka, that she told him that his brand was bad, that his brand was tainted, and that Meghan Markle was bad for his brand. Those were not news, because she did a brand audit. I don't know if you read that Dr. Sophie Chandauka did Harry's brand audit. He didn't even know that was a thing. And she polled 50 organizations, right? And the organizations said that, and these are organizations who want to donate to Harry, right? And they said his brand is tainted, and especially with Meghan Markle, we don't want to donate any money if it's associated to Meghan Markle. So when Sophie Chandauka said that to Harry, he was like insulted. And I believe that the insult is not because he loves Meghan Markle. It's because it's a reflection that he chose poorly. He even compared himself to Johnny Depp. And he goes, well, Johnny Depp bounced back. Yeah, but Johnny Depp was innocent. He is a decent, and he's fucking Johnny Depp. I mean, Harry, I don't care how many royal titles you have. This is Johnny effing Depp.
Johnny Depp, the heartthrob.
No, but he's a decent man. He's a sweetheart. Harry's an asshole. And his wife is asshole 2.0.
And Johnny Depp has the same birthday as my son, by the way.
When is his birthday?
The 9th of June.
Oh, my son is the 1st of June.
Oh, Geminis.
Yes.
Complicated creatures are our Geminis. But very loving, though, I must admit. Very loyal. But yes. So, I don't know why we've just digressed. So Harry thinks he's.
Can you imagine having in black and white being told that your wife is a skank or that she sucks? That is a bad reflection on him. Harry's very arrogant. Everything is a reflection of him, because that is not his family telling him, we told you so. These are organizations. This is a black and white report of Harry's situation at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could kind of see, he just doesn't. I mean, he looks miserable every time you see him, and I don't really. He doesn't feel like he's in the room. He's not there. He's not present. You know, which is an issue, because he's been to so many events recently where his face just doesn't look. He looks disheveled. He looks like he's got a lot going on in his head. And just doesn't crack a smile, whereas she's overcompensating. I feel like she is kind of doing the utmost to work for both of them. You know, she's putting on more of a show for the pair of them, but it comes across as very forced and not genuine. So are they going to be spending any time together at all then in Australia?
Not from the likes of it. There are no events exposed that they're going to be doing together. Harry's going to his thing. She's going to be away on the girls' weekend. No yachts involved. Oh, Victoria, remember we talked about that remember that picture in Heather Dorak's place where there were the three of them yachting and the ambassador?
Yes.
The comment has been removed. But
I know, we were there. We did it live on the line.
Okay. But they removed the comment.
I actually did a short on that as well, and it got 18,000 views because of what you told me.
Well, we saw it. I showed you. Yeah, Isn't it? And then they said that they don't watch our channel.
Well, I mean, I think
clearly they do.
Yeah, I think we need to cover more of this yacht stuff because
I will for sure.
Yeah, you were one of the first people to cover this, so I always was dubious. I've always said it to you.
No, but now everybody's given everybody. Now another person has been attributed as, she's been doing this for years. I've been doing this for almost 7 years, 8 years, since Meghan Markle joined the thing.
You really are an early bird. What's the word? Early bird catches the worm. So
but Yankee Wally, Danger Zone, may she rest in peace. She was such a funny, I like Danger Zone.
No, you've done a real good job with that.
She was one of the goats, Danger Zone. You know that they burnt down the house? The Sussex squad burnt down her house?
What?
Well, allegedly, yeah. They burnt out her house. And when I started covering Meghan Markle, I was highly unpopular because everybody loved that woman. Most people loved that woman. So when I started asking the questions, I was very much hated. And it's like, wait a minute, this does not make any sense. Like 2 and 2, I'm sorry, I'm not adding up to 4.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not like a strong hater. I definitely am not. I do find
But I'm not a hater. This is the thing that really bothers me. I am not a hater.
I think you're a truth seeker. I think that's the difference.
I am asking questions, and I don't only ask questions of Meghan Markle. I've gotten a lot of flack because I question Charles, the York girls, Fergie, Camilla. I get a lot of flack because of that.
I think a lot of people have to be held accountable for their behavior, especially when they're on the world stage. And if they're
when they have so much privilege, Victoria, when they have so much privilege, not when they're on the world stage, when they have so much privilege, thanks to the position that the people give them, because at the end of the day, these are constitutional monarchies. They're there by the will of the people.
Of course, yeah, and they have to adhere to a certain code of ethics.
They should.
And they should uphold a certain standard because you're representing the British people. I don't want to be represented by paedophiles. I don't want to be represented
by a Muslim pedo.
Well, I don't mind if who's Muslim? Who's Muslim?
Charles.
What you mean, Charles? Okay, I don't know though. Is that true? Because firstly, Charles isn't a paedophile, is he? Let's get that clear, because
I don't know. I wouldn't put out that he isn't.
That's quite.
I wouldn't put out that he isn't. He's been surrounded enough. And I mean, at the time when he made that comment, when he met Diana, when he saw Diana at 16 years of age, and he thought, "Oh, that's an attractive woman," that sends alarm bells. Even back then.
The only thing I would say about the whole situation with Charles is I didn't like the fact that he was in correspondence with Jimmy Savile back in the day, and that
really. How about naming Lauren Vanderpost, Prince William's godfather? Lauren Vanderpost, the South African poet, billionaire, was Prince William's godfather. He is a pedo, and when he died in 2010, everything came out that the last woman who delivered his son or a baby was 14 years old when she delivered his kid, one of the girlfriends. And I don't care where you are. That is a minor. She was 14 by the time she had the child, which means that she must have been sometime between 12 and 13 when that old disgusting man got a hold of that little girl. Then you have Peter Ball.
This is not the territory I thought we'd be going down this evening.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, let's go back to Meghan, because I get angry. I get angry. And did you know that Camilla has declared war on Princess Catherine? Camilla doesn't seem to understand that it's a losing battle when she tried to do that with Princess Diana. You would have thought that this stupid woman had learned her lesson. But no, she hasn't learned her lesson. Now she's after Catherine, and it's like, that she really tried to boycott Prince William's relationship with Catherine, and she was all happy when they broke up, because she said that Catherine was too much of a commoner for Prince William, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, and people are not picking up. Who, I don't know how you pronounce Giles Corrin. He's a comedian. He's a very good friends with Meghan Markle through Soho House. Guess who's intimate, close friends with this man? Camilla. Giles Corrin is the guy who started the Rose Hansbury rumor of Prince William having an affair with her. And now Camilla has hired, because this is Camilla, has asked Charles, and they have hired as PR director of communications the very same reporter from the Royal Rota who was spreading all the misinformation about Princess Catherine's cancer. Where's Kate? That's the woman that they have hired as their communications director, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Okay. Interesting. I just wanted to touch back on the halal meat thing quickly.
Oh yeah.
Because we were talking about that. So imagine people scared of halal meat in 2026. Okay, this is what Sarwesh has written. I was just
sorry.
Just one of the members. But what I wanted to ask you is
no. I want to answer that comment.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go
First of all, halal meat represents that there's a religious connotation to the way that animal is killed. Is one of the most brutal and barbaric ways of killing an animal, especially if you don't stunt it. Number two, there's a prayer, Muslim prayer, said over the animal. So because they follow and obey the rituals of the Muslim religion. I am a Catholic. I am a Christian. I do not want to eat meat blessed by a Muslim tradition. No disrespect to anybody, especially when the animal is killed in such a cruel way. Charles is supposed to be the freaking defender of the faith. He just released something that's a Muslim, saying something to the Muslim with the British logo. If I were to go into whatever you want to call it in Muslim, because I don't know where you go to churches or whatever. I were to go, a mosque, what is it that they go into?
They go to a mosque, yeah.
Can you imagine if I go into a mosque and start trying to pray at a Catholic mass? They will probably lynch me right then and there, and it would be considered incredibly disrespectful. I think that there's a complete lack of respect for other religions, and I find that kind of religion with those zealots.
There is. Can I just say there is some halal meat that is stunned beforehand.
No, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Well,
I know that. I know they're hardcore, and I know this because here in Toronto, there's a big outrage right now because the purists, they don't stunt the animal.
Okay, so depending on the country as well, because you've got to remember this.
You don't know if they do that in the United Kingdom, Victoria. You don't know anything. And Charles, the problem that I have with Charles is that he doesn't warn people. You go there, and we know that.
Just talking about how Prince King Charles, why is he eating halal meat? So what is that? Where has this come from that he's Muslim?
Well, he's been advocating for Muslims since 1992. I actually interviewed a former mistress of him who was a mistress of Charles for over 22 years. And she said that he would observe 4 prayers. I don't know what that is. Apparently he did 4 prayers a day or something like that. Okay. And he would fast. If he's not if he's not a Muslim, why would he? I don't know how many times they pray, but she said that he prayed for when he would come to Canada to see her when she went to the UK to see him. after he was married to Diana and allegedly living with Camilla, he would observe it. He is the patron of many of the Muslim things. He's the patron of the Muslim Oxford community.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting that that's the religion that he's chosen when he's I don't know, I don't even know kind of the rules around that now.
Well, Muslims are very radical, just like Jewish people. Can you imagine if I walk into a synagogue and say, praise the Lord Jesus? They think that Jesus is a criminal. That's what the Talmud says, that Jesus is a criminal, that Jesus is not even a prophet or anything.
I am going to do a live on Muslims and Muslim cultures because I feel like there's a little bit of misrepresentation going on. I don't agree with a lot of the cultures and how they've adapted the Muslim religion and how they've interpreted it.
No, Victoria,
There's certain cultures that do it the right way, and I think I want to talk about it just to get the information out there. Because
that's not their problem. Yeah. That happens with every religion. You have it with Jewish. You have it with Catholics. Let's not forget the Inquisition. Okay, so I mean, so it's in every religion. The problem that most Christians are having is that Muslims have been burning down Catholic Christian churches, not a peep from Charles nor Stammer or any of the government. Somebody attacks a Muslim church, it's all over the news. Charles issuing statements condemning it, Stammer intolerance. Yeah, they go and they burn down. There's the gang rapes. It's a horrible thing. Charles, a Christian king, for Easter, he didn't say happy Easter to all our Christian friends, no, for all those who observe it.
Yeah.
What? And then he goes, happy to the Muslim community, to all the Muslim. What the hell is going on? And the fact is, he doesn't tell people. Here you go in Toronto, I don't know anywhere else in the world, but there's a section that says halal meat and not halal meat. Yeah. People should have an option to do that.
And then there's the kosher meat as well. So there's the Jewish. Yeah.
Yes. It should be a default that if you're a Christian nation, as the UK officially is, that you get meat or your food prepared under the rituals of the Christian faith. Well, and then if you are halal, to have a small section or kosher for that, you can ask and say, excuse me. But no, it's the other way around. It's automatically halal. Okay. And then they don't tell you it's halal. You have to ask.
No, interesting. So that's not what I would perceive it to be here. We've got a halal section in the supermarket. We've got halal butchers in Tooting. It's very predominantly Muslim, which is just down the road. I was born in Tooting, a big Muslim community there, and you can buy halal food there. But in the supermarket, as far as I was aware, you buy your meat as standard, and then you can buy halal meat separately. So, are you telling me we're being misinformed about?
Yeah. When Lauren the Insider went there, she asked the waiter if the food was halal, and the waiter started laughing. And he goes, no, this is the UK. And then she said, can you please go ask the chef? And the guy goes, fine, I'll do it. But, no. And then to his shock, he came back absolutely spooked and said that it was all the meats were halal.
I've got to say London has a lot of halal restaurants because we've got such a diverse community here. We've got so many people that do eat halal. So it's kind of more normal here to have halal food. Because
but you should be told.
Well, yes, of course, and it does normally say on the restaurant outside.
But Charles doesn't, and he's serving it at the Orangerie at Buckingham Palace or Kensington Palace, one of those.
Okay, well, I wasn't aware of that, so I'm going to have
to. Lauren the Insider did a whole thing. She wrote an email to Buckingham Palace.
Muslim. Is he allowed to convert? Is he allowed to convert?
No. The King of England or the monarch from England is the head of the Church of England.
I know, but that's why I'm asking. I'm being facetious.
One of the things for Succession Act is that, and the Marriages Act, which technically Charles legally cannot be king of the United Kingdom because he was not married by church. He was married at the civil registry. Article 45 of the Marriages Act in regards to the royal family clearly specifies that senior royals have to be married, cannot be married in the civil registry. They have to be married in a Church of England, and the Archbishop is the one who has to sign the wedding certificate. Because if they married in a civil registry, they remove themselves from the line of succession. They cannot ascend the throne. That is still very much now. This is why when Charles married Camilla, or was about to marry Camilla, the lords at the time said, hey, wait a minute. Should we not be looking at this? Because if he marries this woman, because the Church of England refused to marry them in a ceremony. What they had later was a blessing. But the church flat out refused, because Camilla, unfortunately, they do remarry you unless you fall on the 5 things. And unfortunately for Camilla, she fell into the one because her husband, her former husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, when he divorced her, he said that he was divorcing her due to her adultery. So Camilla is officially labeled an adulterer. And one of the conditions in the Anglican Church, they cannot remarry you and remarry you in a church ceremony, is if your previous marriage broke down due to adultery.
Yeah.
You see, Charles was already a widow.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I think, are they not looking into changing some of these laws now, though? Because
they haven't changed it. No, it's still there. This is one of the things this is why Meghan Markle converted to Anglican. She didn't want to leave anything to chance. Because the Succession Act is very clear. And you know that when the Marriages Act changed, because the Marriages Act has only been changed 3 times in history. Yeah. The first one, I think, is 1846, and then 1749. But the 1846 literally was the basic, and then in 1749 it was refined as to where the person could be married. That they could have 5 witnesses. It had to be 2 witnesses, the bishop, and basically the administrative stuff. The royal marriages, the Article 45 remains to this day still there. It was never repealed. And then in 2013, when they proposed, when same-sex marriages came into effect, there was even, I've shown this because it's very public, the debate in Parliament, because they were saying, wait a minute, my lords, how is this going to affect the royal marriages? And they said that again, the royals are exempt from same-sex marriages. So if a royal marries somebody from the same sex, they remove themselves from the line of succession or ascending the throne. Okay. Yeah. Because there's 4 things. That was a huge debate. There was a huge debate about that on Parliament. And you can actually read the whole debate there. All the information is there. So there's 4 things for to succeed the throne or to remain in the line of succession. 1, a marriage between a man and a woman, that the relationship has to be between a man and a woman, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Married in the Church of England, not in the civil registry.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
The child has to be conceived naturally.
Yep.
And the child must be delivered by the woman. So how do you verify all of that? We know that Harry and Meghan are man and woman, allegedly. We know that they got married in that spectacle church. Allegedly, they did it and she got pregnant, but nobody has been able to see who delivered those children. Because the way the people do this is by having the doctor's signature who was there, and those doctor signatures is there to reassure the public that, yes, these people were present and they delivered the child. So that is missing from Meghan Markle. Nobody knows who delivered the children. And according to the law, those details must be made public in order for the children to be included in the line of succession. To date, Harry and Meghan's children are the only 2 kids in the history, in the over 1,000-year old British monarchy history, whose origin is unverified. Because before, the entire court used to witness the woman giving birth. They used to lock the women in the room as soon as they got pregnant to make sure that they didn't do any hanky-panky and that she was indeed pregnant. That's why they locked the women up. And then in the rooms. And then when they were ready to give birth, The entire court would see them. And then they would stay there for 2-3 days to make sure that the baby didn't die. Because, back then, even now, it's very dangerous. Yeah. And then,
look at the Omen.
Yeah. And then that got changed. I think that got changed in 1701.
Yeah.
That was changed, that it was when government was formed, that two members of the Home Secretary or whatever, and 2 more people had to be present when the lady gave birth. However, in 1948, before the then Princess Elizabeth gave birth to Charles, King George VI asked, please, to the Lord Chancellor, to the Prime Minister, if they could do away with that, but that in exchange they would put the easel out with the signatures of the doctors who had witnessed and delivered the child. So they removed that law, because up until 1948 it was mandatory, it was law that I believe the Home Secretary plus 2 government employees had to be present, and they had to deliver their signatures that they witnessed the birth. But for modesty, they decided no, and they said, okay. And then, of course, there was Princess Diana, the first one who gave birth in the hospital. So there wasn't any need. And instead, they had the doctors from the hospital, and they put it out in the easel. So Rachel, Meghan Markle, and Harry are the only 2 children in the history of the British monarchy. I want you guys to understand this.
Yeah.
That people don't know who delivered those. There are no witnesses to the delivery of those 2 children.
Yeah, and there is kind of a big question marks over these children as well, because I'm very keen to know why these children keep changing in every video or picture. And we had a recent Instagram picture of her as well, Lily, which was kind of set up, I think, to look like she accidentally walked in on Meghan doing floral.
There were 7 edits on that little 14-second clip, and it was actually quite shameful. And I talked about it, Victoria, because we're mothers. I don't know if many of you are mothers or parents. But if you're going to have your kids in social media, even when you go to a birthday or whatever, you present your kids in the most flattering way, right? Meghan Markle chooses to portray this little girl who is allegedly of royal blood, a princess. She always humiliates her. It's a humiliation ritual. How she portrays her in dirty, soiled clothes, unkempt hair, and always cowering to her. Have you noticed how she's always cowering to her now? She's always beneath her. It's like she's under that table, and Meghan is in her kingdom. I think that is, I don't know how people in the chat feel, but I feel like it's Meghan Markle's way of telling the world, I am the one who matters. Look what I do to this princess.
Yeah, it feels very orchestrated and very controlled. And again, that clip was not an accident. We didn't see her face.
7 or 8 edits. I counted them because you can see when it cuts.
See where? Okay, wow, you've got a sharp eye. I didn't notice that.
Sweetie, you don't need a sharp eye. She has it. She has it in her Instagram. Let me see if I know, but I didn't
notice the little edits there. So
let's look at this. Let's look at the Instagram.
And I'm of course there's edits because it's a staged performance. It's why would the kid's face not appear? And the flowers are arranged.
So are you sharing it, Victoria?
To a point where you can't actually see her. So it does. That's a bit too kind of.
Okay, let's see. See, there's one. Let me see. 1, 2,
oh, yes,
3,
yeah, oh yeah.
4, 5.
Yes, you can see
6. You can see the little clip. 7.
Yeah. And the flowers are arranged perfectly to hide her.
Now, what little girl can lift a whole jug like that?
Yeah.
Look at her hair. It's so unkempt. There's no eye contact. Whoever that little actor is, look at this. This doesn't look like a little girl who's playing peekaboo or anything. It looks like a little girl who's towering. Meghan is in her own kingdom. It's not at her level.
It's just bizarre. The whole thing with the kids is kind of freaking me out slightly, because there's no, and where is the sign of the boy? Where is he? He's kind of disappeared. And she's very focused on Lily at the moment.
This is very embarrassing too. Look at that. This is at a children's right. Well, she portrays her daughter that way. And it's all about her. These are two 45-year-old women who know better.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, it's very, very performative. Everything is very performative. It feels so forced and so kind of, you know, when you're desperate. I feel like there's a lot of desperation going on here. Why is it? Why do you think they've decided to go for the weekends just to Australia? Why haven't they decided to take the kids away for a little holiday and kind of do a family time out there? Because it's a great opportunity to, you know, have a different experience going over to Australia. Why do you think they've just chosen again to leave the kids behind?
They don't like being with their kids, Victoria. They don't like being with their kids. I have never met a couple of people who hate being with their children so much. Because when my kid was that young, I would have never left them. Those kids had barely been brought up by Harry and Meghan. They're the worst parents. I do, and this is just my very personal opinion. I think that Harry and Meghan are abusive. I do believe that Harry has children. I don't believe Meghan has, those are her kids. I don't think that she brought them into the world, which is why we see the royal family completely avoiding it. When I wrote to Parliament and I said, can you please just confirm that Archie was born at Portland? They replied to me that they couldn't provide that information to contact the palace. This is Parliament. Parliament is entrusted with ensuring and verifying the details of births before those children are included in the line of succession, because that's the Succession Act. Those are legal documents that have to be submitted. So the fact that Parliament can't even say, yeah, Archie was born at Portland, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And there's kind of a lot of a lot of unanswered questions as well. And yeah, I think the more I'm looking into it, Paula, the kind of less sure I am about how I feel about it. It kind of, there's something quite wrong going on here.
Well, I don't blame at this point, and I keep saying this. At this point, I don't blame Harry. I don't blame Meghan. I don't blame Camilla. I don't blame Fergie. I don't blame Andrew. I don't blame Eugenie. I don't blame Beatrice. I blame the monarch, because he has tools and power to remove that. He can do it. We saw how he did it very quickly with Andrew, with Andy Boy. You know, and I'm sorry, Isle of Shoals, that you're upset, but it's a fact of the matter.
Why are you upset with Paula?
Because they don't like it when I expose Charles. No, it's because they don't like it when I expose Charles.
I don't think it is. I don't know. You write it in the comment section. But what I wanted to say is, just to play devil's advocate, if they remove the titles from Meghan and Harry, does that not then give them free reign to speak on anything? Because I feel like if they completely,
well, they already do, sweetie. Well, they already do.
But does it not give them more freedom than what they had already?
No, they're making it worse. They're making it worse because they're speaking about things they shouldn't be involved in, using their royal titles. Meghan Markle is going to Australia, and that disgusting, cheap thing, not as Rachel Meghan Markle or Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor. Harry's not going there as Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor. He's going there as the Duke of Sussex.
Yeah, but I feel
everything they do with the use of titles is an endorsement. And I'm going to tell you something for people to understand that.
What I'm trying to say is, if they decided to get rid of their titles altogether, then does that not create more animosity between them?
Are
their lips not looser then? That is my point. Do you
not think Victoria, it shouldn't really matter. This is not titles, royal titles, which come with huge I'll give you an example. You know Peter Phillips, Zara Tyndall's brother?
Yeah. That's a husband, isn't it?
No. Peter Phillips is her brother, her oldest brother. He did the commercial in Japan. People were livid because, and he got a lot of backlash because he used the castle as a backdrop.
Okay.
And even though he doesn't have any titles, but he was kind of implying that milk commercial was endorsed by the royal family, you know? There was a lot of backlash, and he's not even titled. And I'm going to share something with you here. If you want, you can share it here. If you can share so people can see that there's already a law in the United
Hold on a second. Paula is an animal lover. I think if we're going to do a show on talking about animal welfare rights, and we can, but this is not for that. And
What do you mean? Of course, I'm an animal lover.
Yeah,
I don't want. I am a farmer. I'm an animal lover. I remember I stopped eating meat for years when I saw how they killed a cow like that. So I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to eat halal meat with an animal that's been badly tortured or damaged. I hardly ever eat meat for that matter.
Halal, but as far as I know, they're not meant to torture halal. So the meat that's halal, it's blessed meat, but it's okay. They don't stun it, but it's quite complicated. There is two sides to halal. There is the stun side, and then there's the non-stun side. I need to just do a little bit more research before.
For me, I'm sorry, but for me, I just have to go on the record. For me, the way they murder the animal, in the halal way, it is cruel. I've seen it done at some of my friends' farms, and I will never endorse that.
How do they do it, Paula? How do they
bleed the animal? It's horrible.
It's
horrible. You see the animal suffer. It's horrible.
Okay,
I will not eat like that.
They're not meant to torture the animal beforehand.
But the whole procedure is torture.
I know, but what I'm saying is when we're talking about torture, I don't think there's any torture going on beforehand. I think the act may be cruel if we're talking about how it's done, but there's no torture prior to the killing, as far as I'm aware.
Goody. I don't want to eat any halal meat. Halal meat implies that it was blessed by a Muslim. I have nothing against Muslim, but I am a Christian. I can guarantee you that they will refuse to eat any meat that has any Christian ritual involved, because they have too much respect for their religion. I don't understand why respect doesn't work both ways.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I don't think we should be eating meat that we're not privy to knowing what it is beforehand. It is important that we've got clear labels on our food. We should know what we're eating. And just going back to that, King Charles was serving halal meat within the palace.
He's serving it at the restaurants.
Oh, right, okay.
At the orangery, that's where Lauren went.
Okay.
And she also sent them an email. And the stupid ones replied, and they confirmed.
Is that because he wants to be all inclusive to his to people that he's serving to?
That's a different story. But then he should have that option. He should have in the menu, there's halal and kosher options.
Yes,
not the other way around. It shouldn't be automatic.
I agree. You should definitely have the option of either or either. 100%. That's your choice. You should be able to make that choice for yourself, because it could really bother somebody, and I understand it would bother somebody. I'm all for animal welfare and animal rights. There's a little bit of discrepancy between whether halal is very cruel or not. I think there's a few different angles to it.
I've seen it. Have you seen it? I've seen it at my friends' farms.
Yeah.
And it's not a pleasant thing to watch him die like that.
It's not. It is. I've heard it's pain-free. Is that not right?
What are you?
Well, no, because I know this. So what I'm saying is, I've heard, because
the cow is not going to tell you suffering, but you can see the cow lying there, and it's like.
I've heard that when you stun the animal, then that puts them in a state of shock, so then they don't feel anything, right? But then also I've heard that there's a certain way of killing an animal when it's done by halal, where it is pain-free. So I'm just questioning the logistics of it and how it works, because I've never been to an abattoir. I don't have a clue how animals are killed. I'm just sort of voicing what I'm thinking out loud.
I've seen it.
There isn't as much pain as what people say there is when it comes to killing through halal methods. But you're telling me different. So let me. Why are you doing that face?
It's because it's insane that people think that slicing the throat of an animal and letting it die and choke is pain-free. I'm sorry. And not only that, you know what's worse?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been. Probably you haven't been to places like this, but my friends that have these farms. This is why I don't have cows in my place for meat, because I can't handle it. Okay, I have cows that are almost my pets because they give milk, and then we let them die of old age. So the animals, they can smell the blood. You know that when they're about to be put in Central America, they have these huge trucks, and they try to carry them or put them in a thing. They can smell the blood. They really don't like it. You should see how they start complaining. It's horrible.
I've actually really cut down on eating meat anyway, because I just don't like the idea of eating an animal anymore. So I'm kind of coming away from meat eating.
I don't eat pork. I don't eat pork. I'm even now I'm off chicken a lot because I saw how they were treated in certain countries, how they were brutal. I eat a lot of fish, so yeah. But no, but I want to show you something in regards to the title, Victoria. If you can share screen.
Let's do it.
It says there, let me read it, okay? Let me read it. It says here, the Trademarks Act 1994, Section 4, protects royal emblems, prohibiting the registration of trademarks containing the royal arms, crown, or flags without permission from the monarch or a relevant royal family member. It restricts using titles in business that falsely suggest royal patronage, authorization, or employment. Key details of the act regarding royal titles. Restriction on commercial use. A person cannot use royal arms, devices, or titles in business to imply they're authorized by or supply goods, services to the monarch or a royal family member. Protection of emblems, but everybody knows that, right? Then you go preventing false association. The legislation is designed to stop businesses from misleading the public into believing a product or service is endorsed by the royal family. The consequences of contravention. Unauthorized use can result in fines, and injunctions can be brought by the Lord Chamberlain or authorized parties to stop the use. Okay? And the act primarily protects the brand of the royal family from unauthorized commercial exploitation. This is let me put you in Article 99 here, because for some reason it's not there. It says here, Section 99 of the Trademarks Act of 1994 prohibits unauthorized commercial use of royal arms, devices, or titles that falsely suggest association with the royal family. And then he goes here, protection of titles and emblems. The act protects royal arms, crests, and titles, prohibiting their use if it implies patronage or authorization. Unauthorized use, Section 99-1. Prohibits unauthorized use of the royal arms in business to imply authorization. Consent. They need the permission from the Lord Chamberlain's office or the king or the monarch is generally required for using these protected symbols in commercial articles. And then they go registration restrictions. Section 4 of the Act prevents the registration of trademarks. And this is why they say that there is already, this is the royal forbids royal from using titles in commercial because they need the permission of the monarch, because otherwise it implies that they are endorsed by the palace.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, this is the thing. They're representing the monarchy still. The issue we've got, though, is if they get their titles taken away, are they going to go completely rogue? That's my point.
For what? Then they won't be associated. Here, they even give you an example here. The Trademarks Act prevents unauthorized use, blah, blah, blah. And then go commercial use. The royal family must adhere to their own strict branding rules. For example, the Sussex royal brand was discontinued after stepping back from royal duties due to potential consumer confusion. But they're still using the royal titles. And they're using the royal titles for commercial purposes.
Yes, exactly. It's for their own gain and for their own benefit.
Yeah. But what does it do? They're violating.
And the same with the York sisters. They're doing exactly the same stuff. I just want to say thank you very much to Honesty and Truth. Andrew, I know you are the absolute legend. Thank you for that. I need to put it towards the credit card payment for the laptop. Andrew, the York sisters are suspicious, and the Sussexes really not willing to pay for sovereign grant. KC3 does not fund the Sussexes, the taxpayer does in a roundabout way, and it needs to be stopped now. And saying that, Honesty and Truth, I wonder whether they're siphoning off a bit of money off old daddy.
Of course they are. All the money from Archwell Foundation. By the way, people should stop calling it Archwell Philanthropies. That place has not been registered legally under the name Archwell Philanthropies. Just because Meghan Markle decided, oopsie doody, it's going to be called Archwell Philanthropies. Where is the legal documentation with the EIA number? First, if you go to the IRS, it's not registered with the IRS. It is not registered with the Department of Justice as a tax-exempt charity. And most importantly, they filed in December 19th last year, and to the United States Trademark and Patents Office to not change the name, to open an entirely new one, because you don't need to apply for a whole new one. All you have to do is in the Archwell Foundation, apply within that thing and say, we would like to rename the foundation, and simply change it to Archwell Philanthropies. But they have opened a whole new one, and it has yet to be assigned to an examiner. So there's nothing that legally says Archwell Philanthropies. And if anybody donates to Archwell Philanthropies before it's got properly authorized and all the legal documentation, you are being swindled.
Yeah, and it feels very dodgy, their current affairs, you know, especially their business set up and their tax. I mean, I think this new book with Tom Bower is going to be revealing kind of the crevices of that and the dark kind of crubby holes of their companies and their finances. I know you kind of have delved into it yourself, Paula. Do you think this book is going to be kind of the breaking of them?
No, I think that the book is going to be Tom Bower literally putting everything we've been talking about all these years and making it mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to, when you write a book, you can't legally just write a book and just put any old thing in there. You have to have evidence to back it up. Otherwise, you're liable. You know, you can be sued.
No, because because the way how you write the book, in the book you can say according to my sources. So that literally exonerates you from anything, because you can say, these are, you know, that you're a writer.
So much, because this is my field of work, Paula. I've had to do a lot of crossover when it comes to
look at Harry. Did you see what Harry put out in his book? That all the truth is his truth, and as he remembers it, and therefore he's, you know, basically, I don't care what you say, it's my truth. Meghan Markle can defame everything, and
I've had to be very careful with certain things that I put into books, because it could be certain people could be liable, and naming certain people as well.
Yeah, so but the thing is, you don't name your sources.
Pardon?
You don't name your sources.
No, I'm not talking about sources. I'm talking about writing about other people in particular. So if you've got a certain story, for example, I've covered a couple of murders in a book. I had to be very careful of kind of the wording and getting certain people that were involved and naming certain solicitors and blah, 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 blah. So it wasn't a smooth road, because there's always this complication of people coming for you and coming for the royalties as well. Not that I get any royalties, it's for the people that help write the book for. But yeah, I get what you mean. I think maybe they probably have different kind of privy to different information. I don't know, but I've always been kind of guided in a certain direction with it, with regards to books. And I think wouldn't Harry and Meghan, if there was very little truth to these books that they put out, would they not have the right to sue Tom Bower? Would they not have the right to go down that road?
Pardon me?
So would they not have the right to, if there was hardly any truth in the books that are written, for example, in the book, he's done one book already. If this new book is a massive expose, if there was no truth in this book whatsoever, wouldn't Harry and Meghan have the right to go down and take that road, and take that route, and say this is defamatory?
Well, they would have, no, they're never going to do that, because then they open themselves up to discovery.
Yeah.
And they haven't threatened. Harry and Meghan are not attacking the facts of the book. They're attacking the author's character. That says a lot. Because, for example, when people made a live about me, calling me a liar, I didn't attack their character. No. They not only attacked my character, they also lied about the facts. Because that's what people like that do. Narcissists, deranged people do that. They don't attack the facts. And then what they did is they tried to show a lie, or not the complete truth or the facts within the webpage they were showing. So it's very important for people to understand that when a person starts to, for example, Victoria, if you write a book and you say 2 plus 2 equals 4. And this is why 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then I'm like, oh, Victoria is deranged. She doesn't know. It's like, wait a minute. What do you mean Victoria is deranged? Okay, what is, rather than me saying,
like
no,
I'm
Victoria,
sometimes,
no, Victoria, I think you're wrong. Or for example, let's say you say 2 plus 2 equals 5, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you go, and this is why 2 plus 2 equals 5. And I'm like, Victoria's deranged. I go, no, Victoria. I wouldn't get mad. I would say, no, Victoria. I would actually be happy if you did something like that because, oh shit, this is good because I can prove it wrong. So what I would do is like, no, Victoria, 2 and 2 equals 4. And then I show you 2 eggs plus 2 eggs, 4 eggs. You attack, you debunk, you bring out the fact. I don't need to attack your character.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So you back up what your point with evidence and what your knowledge as well. And I think this is the thing. I wonder whether how he can keep sort of getting away with writing his book if there isn't any truth to it. So I do believe he's very credible, and I believe that, you know, Harry and Meghan don't want to touch this because this could actually unearth more than actually they want us to know, if you get my drift.
Harry has been proven a liar right now in court because now he's been shown that he sent a friend request to one of the reporters he's trying to call bad names. He gave her his phone number. He invited her to a party. Well, all the time saying, I will never socialize. And I'm sure she has that friendship request. I'm sure she took a picture of that,
Yeah. No, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, and actually because we've been shrouded in other business now. Like we've had so much going on. My eye's been taken off the ball when it comes to this court case with the media, between Harry and the media.
It's horrible.
Has it finished yet? When is it over? Because I think it was
they're still going through witnesses, and the witnesses are saying, they have the reporters and say, no, I think it's Rebecca English or Katie Nichols who said he befriended me on Face. He sent me a friend request. And then there was the other investigator who said that Harry's insane, the former cop. That's not true. Everybody was snitching,
Well, I need to go down to the courthouse because I'm not that far away, and I did say I would. So I think I might try and catch a glimpse of Harry and maybe get a selfie with him. You never know. Hi, Lizzie B. Thank you for the laptop fund. I appreciate that very much. That's going to definitely help. I do appreciate it. Thank you, ladies, for another great collab. Please remember to hit that. Oh, thank you very much, my darling. Absolute legend you are. Thank you. Well, we've gone over the hour, Paula, and I never like to keep you any longer than that because
thank you for having me. And I just want people to understand that it would be very hypocritical of us to trash Meghan Markle for a type of conduct that other royals that you like are also doing or enabling. Because for me, I don't know how many times I have to say this, I'm not a royalist, I am a monarchist. And the monarchy, like democracy, only works if the people who make up that institution or organization adhere to the codes of ethic, and they're transparent. They do things that are correct. But if you have, even you may call it a democracy, but if the person that you have is a tyrant, is censoring and everything, that's not democracy. And we have a right to call it out. Now, the person in charge, because for some reason the press is pushing that Charles he doesn't have very many resources. He has the most important resource, which is removing Harry's titles. Meghan Markle has no titles of her own. Meghan Markle is not a blood royal. Meghan Markle gets to use Harry's title as a courtesy. Meghan Markle, people keep saying, oh, they should take Meghan Markle's title away. Meghan Markle was never gifted a title. Harry was allowed to, and by the way, all royal titles belong to the crown. At any point in time, the monarch can make Harry's dukedom, because right now it's hereditary, but he can say, no, I'm going to issue a letters patent, and it's not going to be hereditary. It's going to be a life peerage, which means that when he dies, the dukedom title reverts back to the crown.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with the Duke of Sussex, the first Duke of Sussex, because he married two ladies that were not approved by the monarch, and the children, and therefore the marriages were considered not valid, and the children from that marriage were not considered in the line of succession because they went against the convention. So when the Duke of Sussex died, the first one died, I think in 1901, the title reverted back to the crown. Right now, for example, King Charles, rather than making the Duke of Edinburgh peerage a hereditary one, he made it a life peer one, which means that when the current Duke of Edinburgh dies, that dukedom reverts back to the crown.
Yeah. No, yeah, that does. Yeah, so no, I know, I understand. I kind of understand the rules of it. I do, and I think you're right. You know, I think we're in a bit of a situation with these two, because I think once they're let loose and they're completely kind of, abolished from all kind of threads to the monarchy, are they not going to cause more trouble for the monarchy? Because it's
They're
probably a lot
already causing
secret.
trouble. They can cause
Well, is
diplomatic
there more
incidents
secrets
using
to
the
be unearthed?
titles.
Because if you think about it, Paula, look at what's happened with the Epstein files. Look at what's happened with Prince Andrew. Look at all this information that's come to light. They all knew about it for decades, the company he was keeping. So is there not more to is there not more things going on in the background? That's my point. You know, and I think if Harry is very fully aware of kind of the dynamics within the palace, and could he be far more loose-lipped than he has been?
I don't think
Because
Harry's that far. No. I have to disagree with you because Harry is an idiot. Clearly, he didn't. I'll tell you why I tell you that I don't believe that he knew how things work. Because now that he's no longer a royal, now that the palace is not doing everything for him and he has to do it himself, now
yeah,
he's seeing how much work there is. And
yeah,
clearly he didn't know how things work. For example, there's a reason why they ask him for 28 days notice and her schedule before he comes to the UK. It's not because they're being capricious with him. It's because I've worked in this, guys, and it takes them at least a month, at least a month for them.
It.
Yeah, because they have to go and scout the places. They have to stay at those places or around there for 2-3 weeks to observe the routines. And if there's something out of routine, they immediately spot it. Okay, so that is why. But Harry clearly doesn't understand that, because all his life he's used to the palace doing everything. Why did everything fall apart with Centevale? Because he never really did anything for her. Harry was the kind of guy who just showed up and did nothing. Literally, people were doing everything for him.
They've literally had everything handed to them on the plate, and their whole schedule's always been planned for them. And I know this from prior experience and speaking to people, and how they conduct themselves. It is a crazy world that they do live in. Thank you, Lizzie B, for the gift membership. You love gifting me. I love that. You are great. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for everybody that is a new member. I know you've got a few new, even Paula's a member now. Imagine that. She's become a Paula member too, a Paula member. All right. Well, we've got so much more to talk about, Paula. If you join me next week.
Always, sweetie, for you. I'm always around.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Next week, Friday, we're back up and running. I have a new laptop. You are a giver, Lizzie. Next week, there's going to be so much going on. I have a new laptop now, so I'm free. This is great. This is going to be fun.
You're going to be rocking it. This is going to be great. I hope your interview goes fantastic on Monday.
I really, really can't wait. And I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're an absolute legend. And as soon as it's done, I'm going to call you and I'm going to be all giddy and I'm going to have a glass of wine and celebrate.
Yes, I can't drink anything right now because I'm taking antibiotics.
So. Well, I hope you feel better. And I'm glad you got it sorted out.
I'm just worried because I've been taking the antibiotics now. I only have 2 more days to go. It's for 10 days. But yesterday I wouldn't stop coughing. I don't know why, in the night. It was really, really...
It's a lot going around at the moment, and there's been an outbreak, I think, of meningitis as well in Kent. So that's been quite scary because there's been some students that have died. Just keep safe, everybody, because I don't know.
Thank you, Honesty and Truth, for the super chat. You're gonna love super chat.
Thank you, darling. To the Royal Speak Up.
Oh yeah, we have to talk next week about Mette-Marit of Norway. I hate that woman so much. Disgusting woman.
Why don't we try and do a live before Friday? Then
we'll do it. That's not a problem. Let's do it. Just for you, Victoria. Only you and a couple more.
Am I special?
I'm available. I'm always available. For other people, they can go F themselves. But for you and people I love, who have been very good friends, I'm always available.
Babe, I appreciate you. You are wonderful, and I'll call you tomorrow. But thank you, Honesty and Truth.
Call me after the live because I have something to tell you.
I will. Okay. All right, babe. All right. Love you lots.
Bye,
See you later,
guys.
everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Leave your comments under the video as well. Can't believe how clear this screen is. Isn't that great? I can see my yellow teeth, which is wonderful. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you guys on Monday and Tuesday. I'm doing a live with P Diner as well. So God bless and good night. Take care. Bye-bye.